The updated physics mod just dropped in FNF and it has a ton of characters from the Trollge universe and just meme culture in general. Let's start off by explaining the first character that we see in the mod, who is named Corruptus. Now what I found interesting about this name is that it wasn't his original name. The original name for Corruptus was actually Terry, but he changed the name to Corruptus because he wanted it to sound more menacing, or at least that's what the original lore said. Another thing that I want to point out as a part of the original lore was that apparently Corruptus had a brother named Trollman, and Trollman was the only person that was powerful enough to stop Corruptus. But I think they may have actually dropped that part of the lore, especially considering the fact that technically Boyfriend defeats him in terms of the rap battle. And for those of you that are wondering how Boyfriend and Girlfriend ended up battling Corruptus, from what I saw in the mod, they literally just showed up to his door with a mic. Which, if we're being honest, isn't too crazy for Boyfriend and Girlfriend.
Step 1. Start planning new ways of... Go answer. Play trolling begins.
Now when their battle first starts in the song titled Trolling, Corruptus seems to be having a good time, but we see as he starts to lose, his expression changes. And at the end of the song for Token, we see him actually have a literal breakdown.
Step 1. Lose twice. Step 2. Get humiliated again by the same mid-kids.
And this is why he looks so demonic in the song titled Impending Doom. And you know that he must be pretty dangerous because even Boyfriend and Girlfriend are afraid, which is rare for the two of them. And apparently he was so dangerous that the only way Boyfriend and Girlfriend could escape was because she used her demonic powers in order to teleport them back to their home. Now even though Boyfriend and Girlfriend did escape, there's still a sad ending to this part of the mod. Apparently Corruptus was so mad at his loss to Boyfriend that he ended up killing every person in his city, including his own parents. And in the end, he blamed the mass murder on Boyfriend, which explains why he pops up at his home 1 year later. This song is called Tomfoolery, and it seems that all the murder allowed him to gain a body similar to like the malicious bunny type of trolls, for those of you that remember the Blue Ball Incident mod. I also count 9 references in the background of this song. Put down in the comments any of them that you can spot. The next characters are all in the free play section of the mod, and we'll be starting with the lone World Trollge. His story starts at school, but for some reason everyone ended up leaving him, basically trapping him in the school after hours. This caused him to have to escape by using the vents in the school, and for some reason he blamed the principal for him being left at school and vowed to get revenge on him. He went to the principal's house with the intention of trolling and then killing him, but before he could do anything, some kind of mysterious event happened and everyone disappeared. Everyone except the lone World Trollge. And for some reason, while he was trapped in this new empty world, he started to grow taller and also grow multiple limbs from his body. And something I find interesting here is that when he finds Boyfriend alone in that apartment in the mod, he's not actually trying to hurt him. He simply is trying to make Boyfriend his friend, because of course he's been alone for so long at this point. Now as far as I know, there are 3 different endings for the song. The escape ending where Boyfriend escapes after winning the rap battle. The best friend ending where Boyfriend talks to him and then leads him out of the back rooms. And the last ending only happens if you lose, and Boyfriend is basically trapped in the back rooms with this person forever. The next character I want to talk about is going to be Smile, and he's actually created by a person named LeCheez. And what I find interesting about this character is that originally he was just an average human lumberjack named Frederick. One day he was sent a joke online that was basically making fun of him and caused him to want to take his own life. But when he went out to the woods to commit the act, he met a strange tall man that somehow turned him into a Trollge, or aka Smile. The next character we're going to talk about is going to be the Happy Trollge, and this one is actually inspired from an incident called the Happiness Incident. If you don't know the video I'm talking about, I'll post it down in the description. But it's basically this ridiculous loop where a person gets a strange phone call, and then they go out to try to find happiness. And what they end up doing is going to this floating house, which looks just like their home, and they find a version of themselves sitting in a chair with a bloody mouth. They stab that version of themselves in the head, and then they take the chair and basically find happiness. and then they call themselves and they do it all over again, which is why we see this just litter of bodies on the floor in this floating house. Boyfriend plays a part in this because it seems like he's the caller's next victim, or at least the Trollers is trying to get him to be his next victim. Next, let's talk about the troll called Trollmore, and he's basically from an older version of the Trollface mod, and he was actually a reskin of Witty. It's kind of a dead giveaway when you look at the song's name, which is called Trollistic. Basically, it's the play on the word ballistic, which is Witty's like final song. And if the song title didn't give it away, like the way that he moves is definitely just like Witty. But at this point, really only the OGs probably remember Witty, because he's from way back when FNF first came out. Next, let's talk about a character called Ouija, and Ouija basically originated from his appearance within the DOS version of the game called Mario is Missing, which is a 1993 educational game that was for the PC. And while the sprites in the game didn't look bad per se, they were a bit off compared to the sprites in other Mario games. People took these weird sprites and made a whole new world and lore surrounding this weird looking version of Luigi and called him Ouija. In this new universe, Ouija was like the son of a ruler of the United G Galaxy. Now the story starts to get goofy once he actually becomes the ruler himself. He basically starts to lead a bunch of invasions on other communities, and while he doesn't look necessarily dangerous, he actually has some interesting powers. His first ability is called the Ouija Stare, where he can simply look at somebody and cause them to drop dead as if he wrote their name in a death note. The other possible outcome is that they actually turn into a clone of Ouija, which is a ability called like giving them the Ouija virus. And this is actually why when you look in the FNF mod, we see a bunch of other Ouijas in the background kind of dancing along. The character is also immortal. He can shoot lasers from his eyes, and he also has X-ray vision, and for whatever reason, he can teleport. At the end of his story though, his own son ends up betraying him and drains him of all his power. I do find it kind of funny though that even though this guy started out as a bit of a meme, people really ran with his story and made a whole universe for him. The next song we'll look at is called Lessons in Meme Culture, and this is actually based on a real YouTuber who basically makes videos where he explains the backstory or why certain memes got so popular. I'm sure some of you have seen his videos at some point in time. He's been around since like 2017. The next character you're all probably familiar with, and that's the cereal guy. He's one of the more iconic memes. I think he got really popular when he started appearing on like the Rage comics. And I think the only reason this guy got so popular is because people really loved his facial expressions. But other than that, I really don't think there's a whole lot of depth in the cereal guy. The next character is the Skibidi Toilet Trollage, and I'm sure I don't need to explain this one too much because Skibidi Toilet took over the internet for months. I still think it may even be somewhat popular. Don't ask me why this got so popular because I don't have the answer. The next character is the You Are a Idiot virus, and it's basically like a scareware developed in the late 1990s by some unknown dude. The virus would basically fill your screen with pop-ups of 3 smiley faces, which would, as the name obviously suggests, call you an idiot. And then the smiley faces would start to flash black and white while just laughing at the user. While I guess this isn't the worst virus a person could get, I can definitely see how it could be annoying. Next we have a character called the Dancing Pumpkin Man, and I'm pretty sure this guy is based off like this old newscast episode where is this pumpkin guy just dancing in a graveyard. I wish I could actually play the clip with sound, but I'm pretty sure it would be copyright. There's also another example of this where I think it was on America's Got Talent where like a guy dressed up in this same outfit and went on to basically dance in front of the crowd. I'm pretty sure it ended up getting buzzed by Simon, but it was kind of a funny show. Another character that pops up in this mod is Sanic, and he is a character that was based off a meme in the MLG community. Sonic was created by a YouTuber called Onyx Heart back in 2010 when they made a video called How to Draw Sonic Hedgehog. It literally showed the creator drawing Sonic in this Microsoft Paint drawing software with music from the Green Hill Zone blasting in the background. Now, even though Sonic is definitely a meme, he's actually very popular in the Sonic community. He has appeared in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie when the crazy theorist shows a drawing of Sonic to try to prove that Sonic is actually real, and he also has his own game called Sonic Ball. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the Tails Gets Trolled song that pops up in this mod. For those of you that don't know, Tails Gets Trolled is actually from a webcomic created by a person named Laserbot, and it was released back in I think 2011. The main character, of course, is Tails, and it basically is a series that goes over different ways that he is being trolled that usually have some weird type of storyline dealing with like love or necromancy or drugs. And while at first glance it may not seem to make sense in this mod, but Tails Gets Trolled is definitely like a meme on the internet now, and it has troll in the title, so it kind of makes sense that it's in this mod as well. And now let's talk about the backstory for Uncle T. Uncle T is Daddy Dearest's friends. They basically met up back in the day when Daddy Dearest was on tour in Russia. Since Uncle T was also a musician in Russia, it makes sense that they would eventually cross paths. The two of them became close friends very quickly, and Uncle T basically became girlfriend's godfather. And obviously this is the same Uncle T from the Friday Night Incident mod, but in this mod, luckily he doesn't actually fall victim to whatever that corruption was that turned him into a axe killer, basically. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this video on the screen here. Subscribe today to become a member of the Orange Force, and we'll see you tomorrow with another video. Peace, peace.